Big developments today in what is shaping up to be one of the most consequential legal battles of the second Trump administration. This morning, two law firms, Jenner and Block and WilmerHale, sued the Trump administration, two separate lawsuits to block executive orders that stripped their attorneys of security clearances and prevented them from representing government clients. In one of its motions, attorneys for Jenner and Block write, quote, "The order threatens not only Jenner, but also its clients and the legal system itself. Our Constitution, top to bottom, forbids attempts by the government to punish citizens and lawyers based on the clients they represent, the positions they advocate, the opinions they voice, and the people with whom they associate. One of Jenner and Block's biggest sins in the eyes of Donald Trump, employing our colleague, Andrew Weissmann, who worked on the Mueller investigation both before and after working at Jenner and Block. The firm, WilmerHale, also suing to stop an executive order signed by Trump on Thursday. It counted among its employees Robert Mueller himself. Both Mueller and Andrew Weissmann left their respective firms 4 years ago. In total, 4 executive orders targeting 4 different law firms have now resulted in 3 lawsuits. One firm, Paul Weiss, struck a deal with the Trump administration. In the midst of all the lawsuits and legal battles playing out in the courts involving Team Trump, and there are many, it may be hard to understand just why this all matters. As Jenner and Block notes in its lawsuit, it has done work for clients suing the Biden administration, just as it now is representing clients suing the Trump administration. WilmerHale represented Elon Musk's Twitter when it tried to block a subpoena from special counsel Jack Smith. What the Trump administration has found issue with are these firms employing their critics and their opponents having access to good legal counsel. WilmerHale, for instance, currently represents a group of inspectors general fired by Donald Trump. It has also represented the DNC and the 2024 Harris campaign. Jenner and Block represents groups suing to stop cuts to cancer research at the NIH. Elon Musk giving the whole game away when, in a response to a win in court for Jenner's clients against the Trump administration, he tweeted, "Which law firms are pushing these anti-democratic cases to impede the will of the people?" And that is where we start today with New York Times Justice Department reporter Glenn Thrush and MSNBC Justice and Legal Affairs analyst, former senior advisor to AG Garland, Anthony Coley. Glenn, explain to me what is happening with these suits.
Well, what's going on in general is the Trump administration is attempting to intimidate big law in this country, which is predominantly dominated by former Democratic officials, both with the Garland regime and prior regimes. But Trump understands, in sort of an X-ray vision kind of way, the economic bottom line that supports these institutions. These are important and far-reaching orders insofar as they are able to, or they're an attempt to sort of take out this bastion of democratic and liberal power. These institutions not only sort of represent commercial interests, wide-ranging commercial interests across the country, but as you said, they represent a lot of individuals who have equities in fighting Trump. And in general, this is part of a much broader campaign. You're seeing it on the press side when you start excluding the Associated Press from the pool, when, as Trump has done over the years, filed baseless lawsuits against media organizations, against a pollster in Iowa. What he is attempting to do in a very clever, calculated, and completely across-the-board way is to bring the walls in on institutions that have traditionally opposed him, not only to sort of create, in a pragmatic sense, a weakening of his opposition, but to scare people, to intimidate people. That's why those 2 lawsuits today were so significant, because they did represent a bit of a counterattack.
And to test the legal system itself.
Right. And so I agree with everything Glenn just said. I think there's also something else going on here. Right. He has said, he has promised that he is going to enact revenge against his political opponents, right? I think we're at step 3 of what this looks like. The first step, Alicia, is you get rid of all of the career lawyers at the Justice Department, people who have more fidelity to the rule of law than to you, right? Second thing that he did, you want to get rid of the referees, the inspectors generals across the board, right? He's going to put his own people in place, see no evil, hear no evil. And now we're at this third step, where he really is just so intent on making sure that the people that he's about to go after don't have access to the best legal counsel in the world. And of course, underpinning everything, Alicia, that I just said is having an attorney general in place who is absolutely loyal to him. And I'm not talking about loyalty in the traditional sense of the word, like loyalty a husband has for a wife. I'm talking about blind obedience. And that's what he has in this attorney general, Pam Bondi.
I would open the aperture on what Anthony has said to say that, yes, it is about having a chilling effect on the firms that they're going after, but it is about having a chilling effect on the entire legal profession. There's a lawsuit that's filed by another law firm targeted by the Trump administration, Perkins Coie, that is in the hands of federal judge Beryl Howell. And in that case, she said, I am sure that many in the legal profession are watching in horror in what Perkins Coie is going through here. The order casts a chilling harm of blizzard proportions across the legal profession. She blocked Trump's order there. Do you think that is the direction these other suits are going in?
It seems to be, there seems to be significant constitutional questions about their capacity to do this. But in the interim, there could be a lot of damage done. Now, some of these settlements, the two settlements that were reached by the law firms with the White House, they really have... For those of us who've studied military history, that seems to be the predicate. This is less about legal history than military history. It reminds me of Attila the Hun. He would go from sort of city to city, come outside the city walls and say, if you don't agree with me and open up the city walls, I'm going to destroy you. If you do agree to bow down before me, I will let you pass. The question is, are these guys kind of playing for time, the ones that are making the settlements? They make these settlements. Is there a potential that this moves up the appellate chain, that appellate courts are going to rule that these executive orders are unconstitutional, or perhaps even the Supreme Court weighing in?
I want to stay with the Attila the Hun metaphor because there's another law firm, Skadden Arps, struck a deal with the Trump administration to avoid an executive order like these other firms are facing. Just take a listen.
Skadden Arps, Slate, Meagher, and Flom announced the following agreement regarding a series of actions that were taken by Skadden. And it reads, number one, Skadden will provide a total of at least $100 million in pro bono legal services during the Trump administration and beyond to cause that the president and Skadden both support. This is something we both support in relation to the following areas: assisting veterans and other public servants, including members of the military, law enforcement, and on and on. Number two, Skadden will commit to the mission of providing pro bono legal services to a wide variety of deserving organizations and individuals. Skadden is committed to funding no fewer than 5 Skadden Fellows. This was essentially a settlement, and you'll be able to read that in great detail. We appreciate Skadden's coming to the table.
Anthony, is that a settlement or is that a shakedown?
It's a shakedown is what it is. And I mean, at the end of the day, what you want are law firms, just like they said that they would do, right? These are people who they take an unbiased look at the facts before them. These are folks in the prior administration, like they took on clients that sued the Biden administration, right? What we have here is a straight shakedown. And you would hope that these big law firms, these partners at some point would say, you know what, I'm mindful of how history is going to look at me and what we do in this moment. And right now, history is not going to look favorably at what they're doing and how they are bending the knee to Donald Trump.